Pamela the Curious Rabbit and the Big Forest School Adventure. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a wonderful place called the Joyful Forest, where lush green trees reached up to the sky and birds sang the most beautiful songs. In this forest lived a resident with fur as white as cotton and big pink ears, Pamela the Rabbit. Pamela was the most curious rabbit in the Joyful Forest. Every morning, when the sun rose and said, "Hello," Pamela would wake up, wiggling her nose wiggle wiggle. That morning was just like that. The sun peeked through Pamela's window and tickled her little nose. Pamela stretched, threw her arms up in the air, and said a big, "Good morning." But this morning was different from the others. Because today was the very first day of Wise Owl's Forest School, where all the young animals of the forest went. Pamela immediately jumped out of bed. Her mother was in the kitchen preparing fresh-smelling carrot juice and clover salad. While eating her breakfast, Pamela asked her mother, "Mommy, why do we have to go to school? I want to chase butterflies in the forest all day long." Her mother smiled and stroked Pamela's soft head. "School is very important, my dear Pamela. Chasing butterflies is fun, but at school, you learn why butterflies are so colorful, how trees grow, and most importantly, numbers. If you know numbers, you can calculate how many carrots you have left or how many steps you need to take to get home." Pamela thought about this for a moment. You're right, Mommy. Then I must get ready right away," she said. Pamela put on her favorite red polka dot backpack. Just in case she got hungry at school, she put 2 juicy apples inside, and a flask of water in case she got thirsty. She hugged her mother and father, said goodbye, and left the house. The way to school was a path winding through the forest. Pamela started walking, hopping hop hop. On the way, she met her best friend, Walnut the squirrel. Walnut was holding a bunch of acorns in his hands but looked a bit confused. "Good morning, Walnut." "Why do you look so confused?" asked Pamela. Walnut replied sadly, "Good morning, Pamela. I gathered acorns to take to school, but I just can't count how many there are. I keep getting them mixed up." Pamela smiled. "Don't worry, Walnut. When we get to school, Wise Owl will teach us numbers. Come on, let's go together." The 2 friends set off. As they walked, they watched the beauties of the forest. Colorful flowers were dancing by the roadside. Red, yellow, purple, blue. Pamela couldn't help but stop. "Walnut, look. There are exactly 3 huge mushrooms here," she said, pointing with her finger. 1, 2, 3. Walnut jumped in excitedly. "Yes. And over there are birds singing on the tree branch. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them." So, they tried to count everything they saw until they reached the school. Using numbers was like playing a game, and it was so much fun. At that moment, Pamela understood what her mother meant. If she didn't know numbers, she wouldn't be able to tell her friend how many mushrooms there were. Finally, they arrived at the huge, old sycamore tree in the middle of the forest. This tree was Wise Owl's school. There were tiny swings on the branches and colorful doors on the trunk. All the young animals were there, Peter the hedgehog, Bobo the bear, Zeynep the fox. Everyone was very excited. Wise Owl adjusted his big glasses and stood in front of the class. His voice was both deep and very reassuring. "Welcome, my little students," said Wise Owl. "Today we will learn wonderful things. But first, tell me, who ate a full breakfast?" All fingers went up in the air. Wise Owl continued, "Well done. A good breakfast clears our minds. Now, our lesson is numbers and sharing." Throughout the lesson, Wise Owl taught them how to share equally using numbers. He placed a basket full of strawberries in front of them. "There are 10 strawberries here," said the owl. "And there are 10 students in the class. How many strawberries does everyone get?" Pamela immediately calculated with her fingers. "Everyone gets 1, teacher," she shouted with joy. Wise Owl said, "Well done, Pamela. Do you see? Math ensures fairness and makes sharing easy." Pamela learned so many new things at school that day. She learned which fruits grow in which season, why the sun is hot, and how to take turns speaking with her friends. School wasn't just a place to study, it was a wonderful place where games were played and songs were sung. After running around, playing, and learning new things all day, the sky slowly began to turn orange. The sun was preparing to hide behind the mountains and sleep. The school bell rang ding ding ding. Wise Owl said, "That is all for today, children. Now it is time to go home and rest. Remember, you need a good sleep so that the information you learn stays in your mind." Pamela and Walnut the squirrel left school and headed home. But Pamela wasn't hopping as fast as she did in the morning. Her steps had slowed down a bit, and her ears drooped slightly. Walking on the road, Walnut asked, "I am very tired, Pamela, are you tired too?" Pamela yawned and replied, Yes, Walnut. My eyes are closing. But I am very happy, I learned to count to 10 today." When she got home, her mother and father welcomed her at the door. "Welcome home, our little scholar rabbit," said her father. Pamela excitedly put down her bag and started telling them what she did all day. "Daddy, you know what? We shared 10 strawberries. And we counted mushrooms. School was so beautiful." Her mother smiled and said, "What wonderful things you have learned. But look, the stars have already started to shine in the sky. Moon Grandpa is smiling. Now it is time for your body and brain to rest." Pamela said, "But Mom, can I tell you a little more? I'm not sleepy at all." But even as she said it, a huge yawn escaped her mouth. Yawn. Her father picked her up and carried her to her soft bed. Pamela's room was very peaceful. There were glowing star stickers on the walls. Her father covered Pamela with her blanket, which was as soft as clouds. "Look, Pamela," whispered her father. "Sleeping is like our bodies recharging. Just like a toy car won't go when its battery runs out, if we don't sleep, we can't play games the next day, and we can't remember what we learned at school. While you sleep, your brain will take those beautiful numbers and information you learned today, put them in boxes, and store them safely. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you won't have forgotten any of them." When Pamela laid her head on her pillow, she realized how comfortable her bed was. Her eyelids grew heavy. She looked at the moonlight leaking through her window. The crickets outside were singing her a lullaby, chirp, chirp, chirp. Pamela started counting inside her head. 1 walnut the squirrel. 2 red apples. 3 mushrooms. When she reached 4, her eyes closed completely. When she reached 5, her breathing calmed down. And when she reached 6, little rabbit Pamela had already drifted off to the land of dreams. In her dream, she saw the beautiful rainbow school where numbers flew in the sky and letters sang songs. And Pamela knew that tomorrow morning the sun would rise again, she would wake up fresh, and she would run to her school with excitement to learn new things. But now there was only silence, peace, and sweet dreams. Good night, Pamela the rabbit. Good night, hard-working students. And good night, my beautiful daughter.